You guys, the girls are mad today. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't label them correctly. They do like to be labeled, this specific group. Let me redo that. Let me turn around here. The fat girls are mad today. By the way, if anyone is offended by the F word, don't be. Some fat chick on the internet said that the word fat is liberating and people should use it because obese is offensive.
Stop using the word obese or obesity, especially if you're talking about a fat person.
So not every single fat chick is upset today from this event, right? I know I have some bigger girls who watch me and I don't think this would piss you off, but it did piss off a specific community, the fat acceptance community. You know, the community that doesn't believe that a surplus of calories makes you obese.
But even if every single person on this planet ate the same foods, did the same exercise, we all lived the exact same lives, there would still be fat people and non-fat people.
And you're just, there you are in bed, not able to walk, eating 28 boxes of fried chicken.
I'm worried.
My kid's gonna come here and find me dead one day.
It's not the calories, it's fate. They're the same people who say fat is a good word, obese is offensive.
I posted a thread yesterday about how I don't like the O word. And I don't use the O word to describe myself. And I do side-eye, I do question why other fat people use the O word, because I just think there's so many other words you could use to describe yourself. Why would you use that word? That word that has so much negative connotation stigma around it. That word that, you know, media uses to describe a whole community of people as an epidemic, as a disease that needs to be eradicated.
Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb.
What else do they believe? Oh, they think that the people in their community, most of them suffer from anorexia. They actually don't eat. They have a problem with that, and they don't have the opposite end where they overeat. They just happen to be obese. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. They just happen to be fat.
But just in general, just don't use the word obese or obesity to talk about fat people or fat bodies, because we are not a disease.
So today, the girls are mad because of a specific video that came out in the New York Times of someone from their own community coming out and saying, I think body positivity is not the healthiest thing, and it influenced me to stay fat and get even fatter.
Over time, I got heavier and heavier.
And this pissed all of them off. Look, there goes one. One's just rolling down the hill.
I've literally been seething with anger about these two videos right here.
This news just knocked her booty cheeks over in shock. Because how can someone say from their own community that they started gaining weight in a community that celebrates fatness?
My problem is that she got online and without properly contextualizing the history and the nuances, she blamed body positivity. And all that has done is tell people waiting in the wings, it's all right, you guys. You can bully fat people again.
But you know who is the angriest? Who also seems to be the heaviest out of the people that are responding to it too? That's right, she's the queen of the fats, the brattiest of the brats, Samira. You know, the girl who literally has wrestling matches with clothes. She rips the clothes, blames the store that she can't fit into their sizes when she knows that she can't fit into their sizes, and she just keeps getting bigger, bigger, and bigger.
Samira, trying on activewear shouldn't look like a high-intensity workout.
Anyway, she is extremely pissed at Gabriella Lascano, and she is actually one of the original body positive influencers, who last year came out with the video where she said that, once again, body positivity made her gain weight, and she shared her experience with being in the body positive community and what it did for her. You remember the girl in the turtleneck.
I'm gonna say something controversial, and I don't care. I don't care how trendy or cute or fun it seems to be fat. Don't let that shit with your head. Don't let the idea that, oh, I could catch a dick no matter how big I am, cause you to forget about your health and to keep gaining weight.
Yes, someone from the very own community. One of the top girls who was the leader of the community that many people followed and loved because she did a lot of fashion for plus size bodies, came out and said, just so you guys know, don't let body positivity get to your head where you just throw your health out the window and then, well, you can't really walk anymore and you're literally rolling down the street. There she goes, right onto McDonald's to eat the Big Mac that the CEO couldn't get down his throat. Well, the fat acceptance community thought that they scared Gabriella off the internet. They shunned her. They made their videos. They said that she was fat. phobic, and they were at peace until a couple days ago, where Gabriella would march back on the internet, get an interview with the New York Times, and say even more while wearing the classic turtleneck. Again. So before we get to Samira's very riveting and well thought out response to this New York Times piece about obesity and the body positive community, which quite frankly kind of ticked me off a little bit. I don't condone violence, but listening to it, I just wanted to knock some sense into her. But I won't, because orange is not my color. That's the only thing holding me back. And I don't like to leave my house. But before we get to that, let's watch the New York Times piece that Gabriella did that pissed off the whole community. So it starts with Gabriella talking about how she was in the community and then she decided to post a video that she knew was going to kill her whole career.
I used to be a body positivity influencer, preaching a simple message: love yourself at any size. Then I risked it all.
You gotta really think about your health. Love yourself at any size, but don't forget that your heart has to beat, babes.
She also talked about how she got to be so obese. I'm sorry, fat. You guys, I'm going to use whatever word I want. That's right, fat acceptance community. I'll say obese, the forbidden word, and you can just pump your way out of here. Get out. So she goes into her background, like how she grew up, and she grew up in an ethnic community similar to me, where they felt that the bigger you are, it's a cute thing.
Since I was a little girl, I always knew I was bigger. But I'm from the Bronx, where having a curvy body and a fat ass is what you want.
And she talks about how in this community, it was very, very acceptable to have a big booty. And I can totally relate to that because I was gaining weight through my youth and I wasn't as big as my family. My family members are very similar to my 600-pound life. They get limbs cut off. They are just so addicted to food that they don't care.
For as long as I've been alive, food has been the most important thing in my life.
So in these communities, it's just super acceptable to be bigger.
I called myself fat around my mom and she was like, "Mijo, you're not fat, you're fluffy."
I'm just gonna say this. If some older Mexican woman says, "Oh, you're so fluffy" to me, and she means it as being cute, I'm gonna take it as, "Oh shoot, I've been eating too many hot Cheetos." That means you're fat. And unfortunately, surprise, surprise, the Mexican community, like the Latin community, the Black community, we all have issues with obesity because we love the booty.
When you're Latina, you get called gordita, and it's a term of endearment.
So for a long time, Gabriella thought that her body was like, as the kids would say, T. It was the ideal type of body. But then once she kind of got out into the real world and went more near like white people, she found out that she was fat.
It wasn't until college that I learned in the rest of the country, thinness is the beauty standard. Even worse, fat people are seen as lazy and dumb.
Now remember this next part. Gabriella starts talking about how people who are bigger get treated worse, especially in healthcare.
Studies show fat people are often treated worse in healthcare. And for women, the heavier we are, the less we're paid.
So once she found out these statistics, she did a little bit more digging and then she found the word fat phobia. According to Gabriella, she never wanted to be like the spokesperson for fat phobia or fat acceptance or body positivity. She wanted to be an actress. She wanted to be Beyonce.
I love Beyonce. But being plus size, I never felt like it was possible. And so I started my YouTube channel in 2010.
So from there on YouTube, she started doing get ready with me type videos like makeup and clothing hauls. You know, in 2010, clothing hauls, makeup videos were like all the rage. But instead of the audience focusing solely on just the makeup or the fit, they started focusing on her body. They noticed, damn girl, you're a bigger woman like me and you're like on the internet doing things? That's not a thing. We only usually see skinny people in, media in general. We all remember this time. Most of my audience seems to be around my age. I remember if there was someone that was just slightly big on the internet, or not on the internet, in mainstream media and shows, they were always the fat one. Nicole Richie was slightly bigger than Paris Hilton. She was the fat one. Pink. People said that she was fat. I was looking back at pictures of Pink. She was muscular. She was an athletic performer. Who else was fat? Hilary Duff. I rewatched the Lizzie McGuire movie like 2 days ago, and the way that I'm just like, what was our brains doing back then? So you can only imagine how bigger girls felt watching movies or shows in that time period, and then this wonderful thing called YouTube comes up, and now anybody who has even a janky camera can be a star. Yes, even fat people. And to someone who's like Gabriella, who thought she had absolutely no chance because she wasn't the size of Beyonce, well, she finally did. And people absolutely loved it because it was relatable. And Gabriella noticed that many of her followers were also big like her. And so she started to go down that path of, you guys deserve to love yourself even while big.
And you didn't wake up to feel bad about yourself.
Sometimes about plus size fashion.
They actually look like a legit 3X. They look big.
Or travel.
I deserve to be on this flight just as anyone else.
Things started to take off for Gabriella. She was getting tons of sponsorships, so many brand deals. She was on multiple magazine covers, getting flown out to areas. Brands were salivating at the mouth at Gabriella because people were responding so well to this new type of body that they haven't seen on, I don't know, Disney Channel, VH1, MTV, unless they were getting made fun of.
Versace brand featured 3 plus-size models.
Full-figured, plus-sized lady.
American Vogue, Sports Illustrated.
A huge step forward for body positivity.
By the way, if you're confused, I flipped the images because I've been getting copyright striked a lot, even if I put a voiceover over, like no sound. So I'm trying to just like avoid that. So it's just flipped a little bit. You're not going crazy. You're not on drugs. Everything's good. Anyway, but you remember that time, body positivity exploded, literally. I remember seeing this, and at the time I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. People are, you know, different types of bodies are getting put in the media rather than the same looking body over and over again. And to someone who I was never extremely morbidly obese, but I was obese for my 5'2" goblin booty cheeks, 180 is a lot on a 5'2" frame. But I remember seeing some bigger women getting the spotlight, and I was like, that's kind of cool. But then this whole community that was all about let's show other bodies, and you don't have to be a size 1 or 0 or negative to be beautiful or to model or to be on a magazine, became something a little bit more tainted. People started getting fat.
Over time, I got heavier and heavier.
The heavier that Gabriella got, the more things she wasn't able to do.
Fitting into the seats on roller coasters, planes. I couldn't wear heels, my dresses wouldn't zip up. And that wasn't all.
When you're bigger, you might not be able to wipe as well as a thinner person.
Ugh. That's very true. Some of my family members are a little bit more realistic and then verbal about what goes on when you're obese. And one of my aunts who completely knows she's not healthy, she really does try, but she doesn't try hard enough. She keeps putting herself around family members that definitely sabotage her diet, where now her legs just don't work as well. It's really sad. I hate that for my aunt. But I remember her saying, when you're bigger, that's why a lot of bigger people might smell, because they can't reach all the way back there and they're walking around with poopy butts. You got a fat poopy butt because you can't reach.
Getting under the skin folds and really washing the skin folds. Just like my wand for the wiping my I have wands for the shower.
And along with the big poopy butt, you have more fold. Girlies, we got flaps, the boobs. You know how it is in the summertime. Hygiene needs to be up here. We have to make sure to clean, right? Now imagine having boobs just all over your body. That's a lot of flaps that I am almost positive aren't getting cleaned throughout the day for every single obese person, right? So that's where the smell kind of comes from. And I know that smell, man, when I used to go visit my family. It is not pleasant. So Gabriella, when she started the YouTube channel, she was getting so much more confident. That confidence was just building and building and building as her platform grew. But then eventually that confidence started getting tapped on like a big block of ice, and it started crumbling down.
Some days I would look at photos and not even recognize myself. I'm only 5 feet tall, and at my heaviest, I was close to 400 pounds.
Oh, she a short little thing. She's shorter than me. I'm about 135 or something like that. I don't really weigh myself, I'm just gonna guess. But so add 300 something pounds on this. This is hard. I would not be able to do this at all. And if someone from the community who got mad at me for me saying that my ankles hurt and I couldn't wear heels anymore, I would not give a f. And it looks like Gabriella don't give a f either. Her health was more important than random other fat chicks in the community. So as Gabriella was in this fat acceptance, body positive community type space, she started questioning herself.
I started to wonder if loving myself at any size had become an excuse to ignore how big I was getting.
Uh-oh, she's asking all the wrong questions in this community. To me, she's asking all the right questions, but this community, they want you to be dumb. It's kind of funny because this community is very similar to the podcast alpha male bro type community. community. They want the women stupid and quiet unless they're agreeing with what they're saying. Same thing here. The moment someone speaks up and talks about their own personal, thing, or they question the community, throw the whole fat girl away in the trash because she is now fat phobic. Gabriella was saying that she just felt like she couldn't think correctly.
I felt like I saw myself being brainwashed, essentially.
She started watching a community shift and become more, how should we say it, cult-like?
Meanwhile, the language around body positivity began sounding more extreme online.
There are a few words that I don't allow. Healthy is one of them.
That is always going to be one of my favorite Tess Holiday-isms from her mouth. The first one being that she is ANORXIC and never eats.
I'm starving. Anybody, any size can starve.
Gabriella was saying how she saw people saying that losing weight is fat phobia. They would promote not losing weight. They would get upset if someone did lose weight in the community. And she just noticed there was a way different vibe from when the body positive community started in early 2010 to now.
Years before, I had often talked about weight loss without getting hate.
And she did. There's some YouTube videos about her working out, her trying to lose weight, or talking about weight loss. And back in the day, you could say those kind of things and it wasn't a big deal. Nobody freaked out. So Gabriella, noticing all these changes in the community, was like, oh shoot, I have old videos though about when I wanted to lose weight.
The last couple days I was feeling really, really like depressed. And I was like, I need to get my ass out there and work out.
Today's video is going to be a what I eat in a day video to lose weight.
So even though she noticed all these changes, she thought that the community was getting pretty toxic. She decided to just not really say anything because she saw when people did, they would get lashed out, shunned, pretty much like the Amish community. Like if you don't do what you're supposed to do in the Amish community, they shun you, they just don't talk to you. Same thing in this community.
I was scared to say the wrong thing, so I stayed silent.
So she stayed silent for a while until one of her friends died that was also in the body positive community. And we actually talked about her before. There was actually a little drama with this person. We didn't like each other at first and I was very confused by her response by my video. She got pissed. She sent her whole fat community over to me and they all told me that I have an They also told me that I was ugly, manly, I have an ED. As well as being too manly, I'm also too skinny. It was a very confusing time. Her friend that died was Jamie, the woman who got denied at every single nail salon because she was too big and they had a weight limit on their chairs. She said that they were discriminating. I said, and so did most of the world said, well, there's a weight limit. Chairs don't discriminate. You either are under the weight limit or you're just not. So then Jamie took things in her own hands and decided to open a nail salon for people like her. Chairs that would fit their booty cheeks. And it seemed like it was doing really well. She ended up on a TLC show.
That's how I want every woman to feel when they leave the salon.
And she actually ended up messaging me and we talked back and forth for a little bit and she said sorry about how she responded to my video. She didn't even watch it. She just looked at the thumbnail. But shortly after she messaged me, I remember scrolling through TikTok or Instagram or something and I see her face on one side and a body bag in the other. Fuck, I was in a funk for a while because I just talked to her. So I can only imagine how Gabriella felt. Like, that's them together, popping champagne, as the girlies do, right? Well, not anymore, because Jamie died. And for Gabriella, her friend dying is a huge wake-up call.
She died at 37, reportedly from heart complications.
So Gabriella kind of runs into some regret, and I feel like a lot of us might have some regret or just maybe some reservations if you bring certain things up to a friend. Because I feel like if one of your friends was getting super skinny, you might say something.
This is what literally half of my Instagram DMs look like right now. Or this. You don't know me. You don't know why I've lost weight. You don't know what's going on in my life. You don't even know if I've lost weight. Did I ask? I didn't ask.
Do y'all still think it's a coincidence that everybody in Hollywood was getting extremely thin and looking extremely gaunt?
Women are getting smaller and smaller.
But I think if people get super fat, it's very looked down upon to say anything. And in the body acceptance and the fat acceptance community, many of them say, our body
is none of their business.
But they all make it their business when someone is getting too skinny. But if someone is getting obese, you're supposed to and Gabriella has some regret because she saw how awful Jamie was doing and she just didn't say anything because in this community, you can't. That's fat phobic.
Like, I didn't want her to feel like I was trying to tell her what to do, and I kind of wish I would have spoke up maybe more. and just let her know that I cared.
But then shortly after Gabriella's friend Jamie passed away, someone else from the community would post a video about how she was having all these complications. She got type 2 diabetes. She said that she's been binge eating, she has a lack of self-care, and she's starting a journey to finally lose weight because her health is declining extremely quickly. Her name was Brittany. She was an influencer. She was part of the body positive community as well, but then she noticed that her health was also going down the drain. She noticed that being in the community really gave her a lot of excuses to not really worry about her weight, accept herself for who she is, someone who eats a lot. And so she started eating a lot, and her BED became very apparent. But she was ready to go down a health journey and live until she died a week later.
She was 28, but hearing their own regrets, I couldn't help but think of myself. It was one thing to sacrifice my adventurous lifestyle. It was another to put my life at risk.
Gabriella couldn't take it anymore. She wanted out. So that's when she posted the video.
And the backlash was massive.
I've literally been seething with anger.
It's blowing my mind how fat phobic you've become.
You should know better and do better.
That's also my other favorite quote in these groups. Do better. No, you guys don't do better with your diet, losing weight, throwing out your excuses. Why do I have to be better? We're all just gonna sit here and be mediocre bitches. All right? Just kidding. I don't wanna be mediocre. But I'm not being better when it comes to me saying obesity is unhealthy, calories do matter, and if you are about 400 pounds, you're eating a hell of a lot of calories. You didn't just like plop into that because whoever created us said, oh, I pick you, you're gonna be fat. And Gabriella is also not being a mediocre bitch either because she lost weight. Not all of it, but she's on that journey of not sitting on the couch and getting bigger in a community that says it's okay to do that.
I want to lose more weight, but I still feel a lot better than I did before.
And then, unfortunately, at the end of the video, she starts talking about statistics, risks, study.
Being fat does increase your risk of health problems.
No!
Studies show obese people are about 6 times more likely to develop type 2 diabetes.
No! Stop it, you're lying!
28% greater risk of heart disease.
Your fat phobia is showing!
Higher risk for 13 types of cancer.
Stop it. Stop it if you know what's good for you.
Higher risk for 13 types of cancer. We can still be body positive while acknowledging these risks.
And then, after she spouts out all of this misinformation and fat phobia, she decides to end it like this.
We can still be body positive while acknowledging these risks.
No, you can't. That's not how it works in the community. Okay, so yes, that's what everybody's mad about. And when I say everybody, I mean the weirdos in the fat acceptance community who think calories are a non-existent and heart disease isn't real. So I'm just gonna take a guess here and say that there's probably no fat acceptance people who made it this far in the video if you are watching me, because you couldn't even watch Gabriella's video. How the hell are you gonna watch mine? So I'll ask all the normal people in the chat, if you are someone that is obese, did this hurt you? Did it hurt your soul? Does your heart hurt? If it does, you probably should go to the doctor because it's not the video that's hurting your heart. That goes for fat, skinny, bodybuilders especially. I see that you guys are dying in the community too. But my obese girlies, did this hurt you? Did what she say make you feel like less of a person? Because the way that so many people are mad about this in the community. So according to the people in the community, at least the ones that I found that I thought was interesting to bring on the channel, that the whole video, everything she said was awful.
It was giving my favorite terrible take. Fat people are glorifying obesity.
We don't need to watch every single one. A lot of them just regurgitate what like the top body positive people say and then regurgitate it pretty much from Samira, but we'll get to hers in a second. I want to look up the people that are underneath her. So a lot of people were talking about how Gabriella was saying that fat people promote obesity, when in fact she didn't say fat people as a whole promote obesity. She was saying how the body positive community and the fat acceptance community is a place where a lot of people go to feel good about themselves and motivates them to not do anything about their obesity because they're taught to just feel good about what you are now. If you're 500 pounds, feel good about it. If you're 400 pounds, feel good about it. And if you're 600 pounds, feel great about it.
Hey, what would happen if you just like loved yourself fully and just like allowed yourself to exist in the body that you have and like just love yourself? What would happen? I highly doubt you would implode.
And something that I found funny about this creator is that she put a whole lot of words into Gabriella's mouth.
There's this trend with former body positive influencers where they're like, listen, I made a grip off of body positivity. I'm losing weight, y'all are big mad, and I don't care about you fatties.
And this is why I wanted to watch the whole thing, because did you hear in that whole 6-minute video interview, New York Times Gabriella interview, did you hear her say out of her mouth, fatties? Did you get like the idea that she says, I don't care about you fatties? What I got out of it is that she doesn't care what the people in her, or well, her past community thinks. She's going to lose weight and she's gonna talk about the risks of obesity. That's what she doesn't care about. But they'll never know that. They're just going to think that this is just a fat phobic thing where Gabriella said, F you fatties, because the people in this community can't take hearing other people's opinions. Once again, which is why I wanted to play the whole video. Because if this woman did, she wouldn't have said this.
Body positivity never said you couldn't change your body.
Because if you watch the 7-minute Gabriella New York Times video, then you would see little clips of people talking about and being upset about people in the community losing weight.
Intentional weight loss is fat phobic.
This is what makes exercise fat phobic.
It's rooted in fat phobia. It's not rooted in science. It doesn't work.
And not only in the community, celebrities that have lost weight and people in your community being upset by it.
Morning, Kelly Clarkson facing criticism after revealing she's taking a prescription medication for weight loss.
The slimmed down star is facing criticism after her noticeable weight loss.
So yes, they never said you can't lose weight, but they also give you a very hard time when you do, thus trying to shame you out of a certain act.
And anytime I see a video like that, I press do not like, because I'm trying to curate a FYP that is friendly, inclusive, and has a lot of fatties doing fatty activities.
Intentional weight loss is not really good for many people.
I had to block another one of my favorite content creators because she got on a GLP-1, lost a bunch of weight.
Because then all of a sudden you're spouting anti-fat rhetoric, and look at that. She brings it up.
Body. But it does say that you shouldn't start spouting anti-fat rhetoric about the people you claim to be a champion for.
And that's exactly where Gabriella up, because right at the end there you saw all those anti-fat rhetorics that she was saying, you know, the diabetes, the increased risks of multiple cancers, and you know, all the other stuff. That right then and there is anti-fat rhetoric. So if you're in this community and the bigger you're getting and the worse that you're feeling and you try to vocalize that, guess what? You f***ed up. That's anti-fat rhetoric. You can't say that. You're giving obesity, you're giving fatness a bad name. And you're making the community look bad.
This video to me really told everyone who thought this movement was bullshit that they were right.
According to the community, the video was toxic and extremely problematic.
Because this is probably one of the most problematic videos that I have seen in a really long time. Honestly, watch the video at your own risk. But
not the warning. What is this video doing to people? Because the way that a lot of these people were talking about the video, I would have thought that she said, fuck you fatties and your stupid fatty livers. You're all going to die and I'm better than you. But she literally talked about her own experience growing up fat, then her experience finding a place that made her feel welcome, the change of the community, and then her friends, might I remind you, dying. You know, it's very, very interesting because bodybuilding is very, very similar. And I got into bodybuilding, mostly figure competitions and bikini. And I had an extremely similar like revelation in my head being in the community and listening to people talk. It's extreme, it's dangerous, and it's not healthy. And the more that I did bodybuilding competitions, every single, you know, competition that I would get ready for and being surrounded by those types of people, I noticed that people had some interesting ways of thinking. They'll do literally anything for a plastic ass trophy and 30 seconds on a stage so that people can judge their bodies. And then people started dying. And it kind of hit me in my head and I was like, I don't think this is healthy. I think I need to get out. And I quit. I stopped doing bodybuilding and said, I just want to be athletic. I just want to be healthy. I want to enjoy my life and not have this food control me and not have the stage control me. I would laugh in anybody's face that started making videos about me because I decided to stop bodybuilding and just live my life. The way that a big old you would come out of my butt cheeks. But for some reason, someone in a community like fat acceptance and body positivity comes out and says, oh my gosh, my friend's dying of these issues, really woke me up and made me see that I was using this community as an excuse, and many people are also using this community as an excuse to let their health decline. And now she's public enemy #1 to this community. It's weird. That girl in yellow just said that now people think that community is bullshit because of Gabriella. No, I thought the community was bullshit because of people like this.
So I just saw Gabriella Lescano's newest video with New York Times, and we're gonna talk about it.
First and foremost, she has already been fat phobic. She put out this long drawn out statement a few years ago about how plus size people need to worry about their health and just perpetuating to all the negative rhetoric that's surrounding plus size people in her video.
Yeah, people like that, as in the harmful fat phobic rhetoric this woman's talking about is that Gabriella said you have to worry about your health. But why am I acting so confused? I forgot. Health is a bad word to these people. So I can understand now why they were so upset. But someone who was the most upset, that went the most viral for her opinion, was big old bratty baby Samira. We've made very long videos about Samira in the past. She is a weirdo to me. And many people call her stupid, but I think that she's actually very smart because she is playing so many people in her community. She knows exactly what to say, what to do, and how to do it to make sure that people feel sorry for her, think that she's extremely educated, and that she's the queen of clapbacks, which has made her grow a very, very strong army, but not stronger than Cardi B's.
Girl, shut the up. It's not that serious. What do you want me to do? Get on my fucking knees and apologize? I'm not apologizing for a fucking choke. That it wasn't even about you.
Cardi B telling her to shut up was just, I liked it. I loved it. Anyway, she did not shut up about this. Here's her caption. Very lazy, dishonest research with an extreme lack of critical thinking. And already just reading that, I'm saying, okay, very lazy? Not Samira talking about laziness when she has complained for about, what, 5 years now about clothes not fitting her and her doing absolutely nothing about it except for getting bigger and complaining on her ass with a phone in hand. But then she had the audacity to talk about dishonest research. Okay, Miss Samira, why don't you research the risks of obesity? Why don't you research the increased chances of cancer when you are obese? How about you research the increased chances of heart failure when you're obese, right? If they didn't do it well, why don't you? Anyway, her video got the most views out of all of these people, but it was the shortest, and in my opinion, the most laziest.
Just so we're clear, that New York Times opinion piece about body positivity, waste of time. Lazy research, a very poor, unnuanced take. Yeah, if you want to talk about body positivity, don't talk about it with somebody fat phobic who doesn't even understand what body positivity is. And furthermore, if you're going to include research, make sure you have both the proper analytical and critical thinking skills to discuss said research. So
let me break this down for you really quick. This big old woman decided to see that something was trending, take out her phone extremely quickly as she's walking down the street drinking a matcha tea, a coffee from Starbucks or something, I don't know. But I know there's gotta be at least 40 grams of sugar in it because it's Samira. Turns on her TikTok camera, talks about lazy research, and then doesn't even give us any type of research that she could do. Not only that, but then she insulted their analytical and critical thinking skills, all while she got into a car and then ended the video without giving us some kind of critical thinking skills. That video was the absolute laziest take that I have ever seen in my life with a dash. No. A piping cup of hot audacity. She added absolutely nothing to the conversation, but Samira knows that her audience is so dumb, all she has to do is say a couple words like, oh, that was lazy. Oh, they added no evidence. Oh, their critical thinking skills are lacking. That her audience will say, oh my God, Samira, she's so smart. Oh yes, I agree with this because I'm fat too. Oh, and she went to Harvard, so I just have to agree. This video was 26 seconds long and it was just ass. Specifically a morbidly obese person's ass you can't reach their butt cheeks. There's just poop all over it and absolutely no critical thinking, analytics, or thought put into this. But if you go to her comment section, everyone's like, yes, she did it again. I'm trying to figure out what Samira did. She sipped some coffee, said some words, got into her car to go back to her freaking expensive apartment that her parents paid for. And then she's gonna roll out of there and go to Walmart and try on their extra large clothes that she knows she can't fit in. What the hell did she do? Actually, I didn't feel like looking up her video again because she blocked my booty cheeks. I'm not against blocking. I actually love blocking people now because what the fuck, people are weird on the internet these days, but she blocked my booty cheeks so I can't just like look her up real quick. I have to go incognito. I was being a little lazy, but I did do it. And now that I'm looking at the comments, this marinated for a little bit. People are actually making fun of her. Well, could you explain it then? She never did. How was the research lazy? Carissa asks. Samira never answered. The elephant in the room. I usually call her a big old brat, but you know, you have to admit, it's very ironic. So she's pretty much ignoring every single comment because it seems like there's an overwhelming amount of negative comments on here, kind of making fun of her and asking her to explain, you know, can you, since you're so good at critically thinking, you like to shove your Harvard degree in our face all the time, this should be very simple for you. A 7-minute video, that's nothing. You could probably write a whole paper on it or a video essay like I did. And I didn't go to Harvard, so this should be super easy for Samira. She never did, but she did respond to Tamara. Like, come on. The real ones are on to neutrality by now. We are just trying to continue existing in a world that hates us. And Samira didn't write a paper. She didn't even write a paragraph. She wrote one word with some emojis. Exactly. Oh, I'm so sorry. My non-Harvard going ass cheeks miscounted. 3 emoji. You guys, editing Michelle here. I was about to render out this video and then I forgot that I need to check up on our girl, Tess Holiday, because I used so many clips of her. And I wondered, did she say anything about this Gabriella, you know, New York Times thing? And she did. And it was kind of interesting and kind of funny and cracks me up. So I thought I would share it with you. So it says it's her in her bright green bikini with fat on on one of her boobs, and it says, point of view, he lost weight, but you never made it your personality. And she's like jiggling around and everything, doing her thing. And then it says up here, imagine calling self-acceptance toxic. Couldn't be me. We brought back F your beauty standards because this. So because of Gabriella's New York Times video. But I just thought it was funny that, I mean, the whole thing was funny, but she showed it making fat her whole personality. It's literally on her ass cheek. Anyway, that's Gabriella Lascano, the woman who said it's not fat phobic to worry about your health or your knees or your liver or your kidneys or your heart. And you can still be body positive and lose weight. And the fat acceptance girls are pissed. They're rolling around everywhere, all angry and shit. Remember, you don't have to be a size 2. Having big biceps to scare away all the boys and probably people in the fat acceptance community away is great to have, but not needed to be healthy. But health is very important. And I too believe that you can be body positive and lose weight in a healthy way. That really shouldn't be controversial, but for some reason, it is. I'll see you guys next time.
I'm a gym girly, love lifting heavy, doing all the curling. I live for the pump, my biceps looking plump. I'm a gym girl.